It's Chinway, and
It's your boy Breezy Too Fresh.
you're listening to The Vanguard.
Thank you so much for coming in, both of you. You guys had such an amazing performance. How do you guys feel?
So I'm feeling good, man. I mean, it's every day when it's in you, not on you, but it's always a blessing to be able to do what we do. Give us a platform to do it. So
Yeah. What about you, Troy?
I'm feeling good, I'm chilling.
That's good.
It's vibes, man.
Yeah. Well, before we dive into the songs you guys just performed, you both are members of Ozone Creations. And would you guys like to describe what Ozone Creations is and what it intends to accomplish through its Afro-fusion hub of artists?
yeah, well, Ozone. I mean, just what it is. It's like a collective of artists that come together like-minded to do some bar raising things with music and just in our community and stuff too. But Ozone really is just like we want to be like a pillar and a hub for creatives in this diaspora. That's Obi's favorite word.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Yeah, and honestly, like a lot of our mission is just like letting people know what is truly Afrocentric. There's a lot of questions. I feel like some people feel like sometimes they're doing something and it's not African enough, but like a lot of music that's popular today is like derives from African roots. So just bringing a light to like what also is Afrocentric is not also just Afro beats or traditional African music. You know what I mean? It's everything from funk, soul, hip hop, trap. It's all that.
Yeah, I think a lot of people like to think of Afrocentric music as one particular thing, and it's really good that you guys try to explore and build that out.
Yeah.
And these songs that you performed, are described as chaotic, featuring dark and booty trap beats. So why did the both of you choose to base your music around this particular subgenre of hip hop?
Well, I mean, me, I always kind of, when it came to the music side, that was the 90s and the 2000s was like the era of rap that raised me, and I really influenced by like Jeezy and other guys that kind of did like the early versions of the trap, and yeah, just being able to express yourself, Sometimes people are a little more afraid of the trappier, the edgier stuff, but yeah, just being able to let loose and do that. Let the influences that I listen to like influence what I'm doing too. Yeah, so
Yeah. I've always been a fan of hip hop. Breeze was able to show me a lot of new stuff, a lot of older stuff that I wasn't particularly familiar with, and it helped me just build as far as like being a producer and an engineer. Like learning from him really gave me the comfortability to like start dabbling into that and explore my true voice, like my raw voice, more rapping, more cadence based stuff, because I've always been kind of a more R&B kind of guy, you know what I mean? So we just kind of brought in like what feels right, you know what I mean? This whole project that we're working on with the Bouchet boys is based around darker stuff. It's real trap, you know what I mean? Trap elements, kind of like more Meek Mill, more Travis Scott, you know what I mean, than anything else. But we're really just trying to expand it and then use that as a platform to allow other hip hop artists to, you know what I mean, collab with them and bring them on different platforms,
Yeah, I think it's a really important thing to have in any duo. Being able to bring the best out of each other is something that's also really, really great. And that I could tell, from you guys performing from each other. The dynamic is definitely there. And this style of music is vastly different from your contemporaries within Ozone Creations. When you think of Bakari, when you think of Obi. And what was your motivation to switch both of your individual sounds for this collaboration?
Well, for me, it's not even really like switching as much as like coming back. Like I always felt like, in my young whippersnapper days, man, I was top boy in this rap stuff, man. Like, and it was like friendly competition to like try and get your bars off. This one's a little more fun though. It's like just showing people like, man, even this trap hip hop stuff, like it can be fun, you know what I'm saying? And like you can talk your stuff and like we kind of a little more bougier when it comes to the trap stuff, but you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
you know, just being authentic in the
Man.
sound in your own way, you know.
It's a vibe, man. It's a vibe. I've always had fun making hip hop music. Whether like that's kind of my roots. Like when it comes to being a producer, is like I started off making real hip hop beats, trying to make the hardest thing I could hear, the biggest 808s and stuff like that. So it's kind of it feels really good to like come back around to it, and just every year I try to throw a little something out there, that's a little bit more hip hop based. But this is the first time we've like really gone in depth and said like, let's really explore this and use it as an opportunity to showcase what we have to offer. You feel me? As far as like the hip hop and the trap scene in Minneapolis, because a lot of people, like I said, kind of exclude Ozone from that, and then they forget that some of us are rappers. You know what I mean? So like, we're our artists, but like at the same time, we just wanted to have fun with this type of style. Like it's real fun. It's real like free. You know what I mean? Whenever you hop on like some rap, at least I apologize.
It's all good. And you briefly mentioned this, earlier, but at a very young age, you began playing the drums at your local church.
Mm-hmm.
And in what ways do you feel this experience has continued to benefit in your musical career?
Man, playing drums at church, like it really just gave me all the bass I need. You know what I mean? All of the foundation as far as like tempo and vibe and being able to catch up. You know what I mean? And being able to pick up certain skills. Because like I said earlier, we were talking about earlier. I have no training. You know what I mean? I just kind of was there and I just started making it. So I feel like now when it brings me to it, like when I'm using new tools to produce, or like, working with different artists, it just gives me that mindset where it's like I don't really have to worry about trying to figure this out. I can go into it and be comfortable in uncomfortability, you know what I mean? And being able to bring my skills and make use of them,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I'm interested to learn more about that production element of this all too. You produced a lot of these songs.
Yeah.
Homegrown.
Mm-hmm.
In-house.
I think there's like on the whole mixtape, I think there's one song that's outside producers, but I produce everything.
Yeah, that's really, really impressive. And what aspects of this production allow you to stand out in comparison to other producers throughout Minneapolis and St. Paul?
It's like a kind of a home court advantage, It's usually I start with like either the drums, or I start with the sample, or like, you know what I mean, the loop. So like in certain aspects, it allows me to like really find where I can sit and be comfortable in a track. Breeze, he'll hop on anything and make that make it sound good. I'm not gonna lie.
In my opinion, I feel like it's the perfect blend of both versatilities. You know what I'm saying? I've always prided myself of being an extremely versatile rapper.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? One of my biggest influences is Lil Wayne, and he pioneered a lot of things for hip hop. He hopped on a lot of things that weren't necessarily hip hop sounding until he was on it, and now it's hip hop.
Mm-hmm.
And then him being a producer that can literally like exist in a lot of different lanes when it comes to sound production. So like he gets to show how versatile his hip hop production is by how he incorporates other like genres into beats. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like,
yeah, for a lot of the time when people hit me up for beats, they still do hit me up for like more Afro beats and more like R&B stuff, So this is just kind of like a showcase again. Like I said, it's just to show like what we can do, and just, you know what I mean. There's just a different side, like, you know what I mean. It's there too. If you need it, you want it, here it is for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's definitely one good way to let everybody know that you can do so much more, and that you're not just confined to this Afrobeat sound. You can do hip hop, you can do trap, you can do all these things.
Or even just not even confined to the old way of hip hop, or the way hip hop's like the mainstream trend right now. Like we want to show like, there's a whole bar we could raise. You know what I'm saying? If we really just, get passionate about it. So yeah.
And you brought up your musical influences, Breezy. You brought up Lil Wayne. But you've also expressed your interest in different artistic mediums, and how does your love for film and television and anime even too impact your creative process?
Yeah, it really allows me to kind of take like my mind frame out of what I assume most people are thinking when they enter like a creative frame, you know, because I've always been one to want to carve out my individuality when it comes to making music and my craft. So like visualizing things like it's my own personal anime, it just kind of helps me do that, you know. Anybody that watches animes knows like they over-explain things, you know what I'm saying? They get really dramatic about, and that kind of thinking helps me like break down the lyrics I'm doing or like the delivery I have on things, you know what I'm saying? It's like, how do I get into character? How do I create a story? You know what I'm saying? Whether it's a simple or intricate one, like, you know, just look at things differently, you know? So, yeah, that's why I think my versatility, like, for beginning, I called myself the 1,000 Flow Slayer by Tosai, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, I take all those things and put it into my music. So.
I mean, you got to be your own main character. You know?
Exactly, you know what I'm saying? Got to be the protagonist, main character. So.
And, you know, although you grew up in Minnesota, you've also stated, or you have stated before, that your true identity derives from your Cameroonian heritage.
Yeah, both parents Cameroonian. Baminda boy, huh? We hustle.
Yeah.
But yeah, like a lot of my family roots and even my musical influence started with obviously like West African music and stuff. Yeah, and me and my brother being like some of the first in our family to be in America and, you know, trying to find our identity like that. I always know like where you come from is just as important too, so. Yeah, man. And it was easier to lean into the Afrobeat stuff, having that in my background too, you know, so.
Because every single one of the Ozone Creation members are first gen too. And that's a really, really good thing, you know, giving each other a voice, you know, it's really important. And it's, to be honest, we don't get enough of it too.
Yeah, for real. Yeah.
So being able to do that is even better.
Yeah.
But you've both been collaborating with each other for years, you know, and most notably on the project Coup d'etat that was released back in 2021 that initially featured other Ozone Creation members as well. And what were your motivations for creating this hip-hop centered group, the Bouchet Boys?
Man, sometimes I feel like things be too serious when it comes to, you know, music and career and all that stuff. And this is a way to like let loose and have fun while letting people know, like, still take us serious. You know what I'm saying? It's like a healthy balance of both. Hip hop I always felt like has given me the freedom to do that. So like, yeah, that's my inspiration.
Yeah. Honestly, I just want to have fun. I wanted to make a project that sounded like it would bang in the club or just it would bang anywhere. You know what I mean? In the car, just like real fun stuff. You know. Additionally, like the artist itself, Bouchet Boys, is kind of like opening the doors to like us giving access to a lot of the hip hop culture in Minneapolis. You know what I mean? We've done a lot of shows. We've done a lot of shows with people in the city, but
and out the city too.
You know what I mean? And songs and all of this stuff. But like I said, I just didn't want it to feel like like we're limited to only doing Afro songs or like, you know what I mean, this, that, and the third. We wanted to expand and allow us to be able to bring people and it makes sense. You know what I mean? Right. Like if I do a show, I want to be able to say like, okay, boom, I want to do a hip hop show and bring my people. You know what I mean?
Some of my homies, some of my little, to be afraid.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
yeah. And I feel like it's just I didn't want to feel like we were limiting our reach in any way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So for this, it's just, you know what I mean? Have fun. Show the Twin Cities, like, you know what I mean, what it means to be a little city boy, little, you know what I mean, little player,
we the Twin City
suave,
boys,
you know what I mean, little vibes, you know, but also just, you know what I mean, make it more welcome, like feel more welcome, you know.
Yeah, it can be really intimidating, you know, to come into this space, you know, with one strict idea of the way you want to portray yourself, the music you kind of want to make.
Yeah,
but
yeah, you know what I mean, and like I feel like for a little bit, like trap artists, people that are rappers, like they get a lot of like, you feel me? They get a lot of like little bit of hate. You know what I mean? They get a little bit of like, oh,
I do feel that. Right.
you're a rapper, like, you know what I mean? And we kind of want to change that narrative a little bit more too, to let people know, like, you know what I mean? Just because we're a rapper, just doesn't
like
mean,
I got big homies, you know what I'm saying? Some of them rap too, you know what I'm saying? But they really like in the streets and stuff like that. And sometimes it's like they always feel like they gotta act hard, you know, so that intimidation doesn't let people interact with them. But like when I'm with them, they let loose, you know what I'm saying? And they have fun. So it's like the music we create can an avenue for like cats like that to just like be normal like the rest of us too. Like, you know, like we don't always gotta be hard and act gangster just because you make trap rap. Like, you know what I'm saying? You can be in the club and have fun too. You don't always have to be on some other stuff. So
It really is important to be your most authentic self. You know, it is understandable why people do that, but
I mean, anybody that know why.
Yeah.
People act hard, but it's like just create a space where like you ain't always gotta act hard. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, man.
That's a really, really good thing. Well, thank you so much for coming in. It was really, really great talking to you both. Is there anything else you'd like to leave with the audience?
Vibes. October 28th, we got a Halloween party. Come vibe with us. Come peep out the mixtape a little bit.
Yeah.
We got more to come for sure. For sure. Definitely waiting on a music video. As soon as that comes back, we're going to drop the first single for the mixtape. Yeah.
Be on the look for that Bouchet, man. We got some crazy ideas coming with this project and the music to come too. And I know everybody's going to get a kick out of it. So, like, I just don't want people to miss out. You know what I'm saying? Like I be telling everybody, if you got gold and you hand it on the street for free, the only people that take an L are the people that don't take the gold. So here's me handing the gold. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much. We'll see you later.
Love, man.